It will not be, the region will not be competitive. People are looking local. And especially when you see things like this pandemic happening and you realize that your long supply chains, primarily to China, can no longer continue to be the norm of the day. You have to make your own stuff locally or at least regionally.
Two brothers aged 7 and 11 years old have died after drowning in an open quarry filled with rainwater in Gekonge village, Masaba South in Kisii County. The deceased, Brian Ombisi, and his younger brother, Junior Ombisi, were looking after family goats shortly after returning home from school when they met their untimely deaths. The bodies were discovered when water was drained from the quarry by family members searching for the two students. The two were pupils at St. Alois Academy, and relatives and neighbors have raised concern over the threat posed by open quarries in the area. The bodies of the two have been moved to Gucha Hospital mortuary awaiting postmortem.
Tumeamuka, tumekuja hapa, tumekaa hapa, wametafuta huyu mtoto mpaka wamepata wote wawili hapa ndani. Lakini wakati hii mchanga ililimwa, mimi niko karibu hapa. Niliuliza hawa watu watinga hivi, simupomoe hii kitu hapa ikue wasi. Wakasema, mama, ni nini kinakusumbua na hapa? Nikawacha, wakaenda. Sasa tumepata hiyo sita ya hawa watoto wawili.
20 Gititu Secondary School students in Gatanga constituency, Murang'a County, are yet to report back to school. According to the school head teacher, most of the students are boys who decided to venture into income-generating activities, while others' whereabouts are unknown. This comes when schools enter their third week since they were reopened on the 4th of January after a long closure due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
The only thing which is saddening me is that the exam that we did, out of the best 10 students, Mr. Commissioner, 9 were girls. Only one boy. He was there tunamalizika. That was very sad.
Our White House correspondent, Zainab Ismail, is with me in a studio. Yesterday, she attended the swearing-in of Joe Biden virtually. Hi, Zainab, there you are. Now, the United States President Joe Biden has signed a string of executive orders with regard to the U.S. rejoining, or rather, stopping the process of the U.S. Pulling out of the World Health Organization. He's also signed an executive order for the U.S. to rejoin the Paris Climate Change Agreement. And I see you tell us, he says there is no time to waste.
Well, indeed, Olive, and these are just some of the key highlights from the Biden administration right after he was sworn in. He did sign a string of executive orders, like you said, memorandums and directives that will reverse some of his predecessor Donald Trump's most divisive policies, including rejoining the Paris Climate and ending the process to withdraw from the World Health Organization. And I'll be just giving you a more in-depth analysis of exactly what happened just hours after he was sworn in. So apart from that, and maybe if we can just get the graphics there on your screen, just to giving you an idea of exactly what that means. Apart from the Paris Climate, there was also the the Biden administration also just let me just also just take a look at that, which is re-engaging with the World Health Organization and also launching the mask mandate, asking for 100% mask wearing for all the U.S. residents. And apart from that, we'll be just taking a look at exactly how these measures will be helping the U.S. administration under Biden. Well, Olive, we apologize for that slight technical hitch there. So, as I was saying, Biden's first big challenge as he entered the White House will be, like what I said, will be tackling the surging COVID-19 pandemic, which has killed more than 400,000 people across the U.S. to date. And to that effect, Biden has signed an order to institute a 100-day mask mandate across the United States and appoint a COVID-19 coordinator to manage a national response to the pandemic. He's also announced that the U.S. would remain a member of the World Health Organization. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, would attend the ongoing WHO Executive Board meeting as the head of the U.S. delegation. Remember, Biden also said the U.S. will once again become a party to the Paris Agreement, like I said earlier, in which he signed an executive order beginning the process to rejoining the 2015 agreement, from which, by the way, Trump formally withdrew the United States last year. In terms of immigration, Biden has revoked the Trump administration's emergency declaration that helped fund a wall along the Mexican border and ended a travel ban on some of the majority Muslim countries, or the so-called Muslim ban. Well, he's also revoked the presidential permit granted to the multi-billion-dollar Keystone XL pipeline, a contentious energy project that was slated to ship about 830,000 barrels of oil per day between the Canadian province of Alberta and the U.S. state of Nebraska. And away from that, we also saw Donald Trump, who chose to skip the inauguration and left for his Mar-a-Lago home in Palm Beach, that is in Florida, early yesterday. And there was no crowd to greet Trump, unfortunately, and his family at the Palm Beach International Airport as his motorcade drove him to his private residence. Some Trump supporters had, however, gathered along the route, like you can see. And instead of attending President Joe Biden's inauguration ceremony, an often unconventional and controversial Trump broke from yet another U.S. tradition by hosting his farewell ceremony at Andrews Air Force Base. So there you have it, quite an unconventional but not so surprising that you'd have Donald Trump skipping the inauguration. It's what we saw. But then again, you have the Biden administration revoking and rescinding some of these policies that were signed by the former U.S. President Donald Trump, Olive.
Thank you, Zainab. That was a busy day, first day in office for Joe Biden. You should catch your breath because he went through a lot of what he signed and revoked in terms of Trump's policies. But given that the U.S. has now surpassed, in terms of deaths, the number of of U.S. troops who died during World War II, it's good to see that now masks are mandated on all federal property as well as social distancing. Thank you, Zainab. Well, speaking of social distancing, we take a break, but we'll be back before you know it.
Siku ya leo tuko na successful bidder na tunamjua sahihi.
Naitwa Steven G. Mwita kutoka Ruai.
Ni namba gani ya shini na unique ulitumia ndio uweze kubidi hii duthi?
1265.
Uko na hiyo pesa?
Iko hapa.
Leta pesa. Hiyo pesa. Sasa nakukabidhi receipt yako. Hiyo. Haya, kifunguo.
Hiyo tumeshika.
Hiyo. How low can you go? Unaweza enda chini. Mpaka wapi? Bid now.
Kazi of work lives.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
Pants is just for me. It really feels very comfy.
Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, an invention from babies for babies. You should also try Molfix.
Thank you for staying with us on NTV at 1. To some politics now, and the UDA party pitched camp in Matungu constituency to campaign for their candidate Alex Lanya, with 6 independent candidates stepping down to back their candidate. The team, led by Benjamin Washiali and the former Kakamega Senator Boni Halwale, said they hope that with almost 6 aspirants stepping down to back Lanya, he will win with a landslide. They did this while also drumming up support for a Ruto presidency in 2022.
Nataka kuhakikishia ya kwamba mukizalisha huyu mtoto tarehe 4 mwezi wa 3, mimi nitatembea na hasla wetu aste aste, tuhakikishe maendeleo Matungu imefanya nini?
Ndugu zangu, sisi tumeamua, mimi na Washiali, kwamba tutafata siasa ya maendeleo. Na katika all the senior politicians ambao wako saa hii, kiongozi mwenye ameweka kwa mdomo yake jambo maendeleo ni William Simiyu Ruto.
Residents at Gatwara village in Ruai woke up to a 7-foot deep ditch constructed across the road they use daily. Children going to school and other residents now have to seek alternative routes to access other areas.
A landowner, only known to the residents as Kinywa, has decided to cut off other residents from accessing a road that cuts through his 2 pieces of land on both sides of the road. The residents say that on so many occasions, Kinywa has tried blocking them from accessing the road.
Kuna siku nilikuja hapa usiku nikamkuta hapa akanifungia na gari, alisimamisha gari yake hapa kwa barabara. Nikamwambia aniondokea, akasema hapa ni kwake, kwa shambani kwake, nafaa kusunguka huko, na akaniambia ataweka gate. Ukweli jana vile nilitoka town usiku nilikuta amechimba hii mtaro, na nilikuwa kwanza lazima nisunguke, hivyo alisema.
When you are driving home at night, unakuta wamefanya pati kwa barabara, wameweka makreti ya pombe, wamepaki magari kwa barabara, and then in time you talk to them, because he comes with the people from very far, I don't know, because he does not even live here. And had written kuwapiga.
In a phone interview with Kinywa, the landowner, he confirms that he plans to erect 2 gates on both sides because the road runs into his property. True to his words, he has already marked both ends from the road where his pieces of land end, ready to erect 2 gates that will now join the 2 plots into one.
Na hii barabara ni barabara ya public na hafai kufunga hata kidogo. Hiyo ni uchokozi tu. Kwa hivyo tunaomba huyu mtu awache mara moja.
A survey of the Kenya map shows that the road connects other 2 roads that loop through the village. Cutting off the road has altered activities around the village, making it hard for residents to access other places.
Anatukosea kwa njia zingine, kwa sababu hapa hii njia sio ni kama ni inaoniwa na mtu. Hii ni njia ya watu kupita kwenda ku access vitu zingine. Shule watoto wanasomea pande hiyo, wanapitia hii njia. Gari za shule zinakuja kugeukia hapa kwa sababu zinapata mtaro ambayo hata ni dangerous kwa watoto wetu.
The residents now want the relevant authorities to intervene before they take the matter into their own hands.
As the residents, we are ready to take action, but we don't want to take our law into our hands. We first of all want to follow the right channels, but if these right channels are not addressed, then residents are ready to act.
Police in Siaya are looking for the Alego Usonga Member of Parliament, Samuel Atandi, over claims that he assaulted the Southeast Alego Chief, Joseph Ogutu, on Njala. The chief, who is receiving treatment at a private hospital in Siaya town, claims that the Alego Soga legislator, together with his guards, assaulted him at his home over claims that he incited youths to interrupt the commissioning of a classroom at Una Primary School. The angry youths allegedly barricaded roads leading to Nyangoma police station, blocking the Member of Parliament from accessing the venue. Okokusa will have that report for us at 9 p.m. The Agricultural Development Corporation has begun, an audit of all its land across the country, putting grabbers on notice that they could face prosecution for trespassing on government land. Speaking in Molos in Nakuru County, ADC Board Chair Nick Salat said huge swathes of land belonging to the corporation have since been illegally converted into private ownership at a time when the country is struggling with food security. For more than half a century, the Agricultural Development Corporation has championed sustainable agriculture and is the lead agency in supporting seed, maize and livestock production, among other food crops.
Those individuals out there who are thinking that you can walk into ADC and take any piece of our property, we will protect it for the people of this country. We've made it known. We've written letters to our parent ministry. We've also gotten in touch with members of parliament who are the committee on agriculture. We have written to the Attorney General, to the minister, to really ensure that all the agencies of government are aware that there are some individuals who are keen to take away ADC property. So we will actually make it known, and we are not going to allow that to happen.
Time to take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. And Paul Pogba scored the winning goal as Manchester United came from behind to beat Fulham 2-1 at Craven Cottage and reclaim the top spot in the Premier League. Ademola A. Lookman put Fulham ahead in the 5th minute before Edison Cavani levelled for United in the 21st. Pogba scored the second goal midway in the second half. The win means that Ole Gunnar's side are top of the table with 40 points too, ahead of second-placed Manchester City. Fulham remain in the bottom 3, unfortunately for Fulham fans, 4 points behind the 17th-placed Burnley. Meanwhile, Manchester City registered a 2-0 win over Aston Villa at the Etihad Stadium, and Bernardo Silva and Ilkay Gundogan scored for City. Tonight, the defending champions Liverpool take on Burnley at Anfield.
Terrific strike. It had shades of the goal that Edison Cavani scored at Everton. Brilliant finish from Paul Pogba.
Green was onto it. Back to Cavani. He gets it wide now. Fernandez clips it in.
Cristiano Ronaldo scored his, get this, 760th career goal and became the all-time goal scorer in football history as Juventus beat Napoli 2-0 at the Mapei Stadium to win the Italian Super Cup. The Portugal forward gave Juve the lead in the 64th minute before substitute Alvaro Morata sealed victory in injury time. 35-year-old Cristiano has now surpassed Joseph Bican for the most goals scored for a club and country in football history. The win gave Andrea Pirlo his first trophy as manager. Italian champions Juve, who were 5th in Serie A, have now won their 9th Super Cup. Congratulations to him. And that's it for NTV at 1. When there is breaking news, you know the channel to stay tuned to is NTV. My name is Olive Burrows. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
This is NTV.
Presenting the new Harpic Bathroom Cleaner. Compared to ordinary detergents, its thick formulation gives you superior cleaning and kills 99.9% of germs and viruses all around the bathroom. Blue for the toilet and red for the bathroom.
Maji mdosi wangu ametupa simu yangu ndani ya maji.
Mdosi wako kwa sawa. Venye Nkirota ameniambia ajui na akimpigia simu ashiki. Hi! Guy!
For the women who deserve more, Moped is now in Kenya and more than 40 countries with its nylon-free surface. New Moped has unique